Hi everybody, welcome. It's Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, so it's time for Stamping with Denise. I'm so glad you're joining me. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm excited to show you a new card tonight using some of the new product out of the new January to June mini catalog. I'm going to give just a second for everyone to find us, but little housekeeping things. Remember, if you like what you see, I appreciate it if you would share with your friends by hitting that share button, and then comment share down below so that I know you shared. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Please hit my subscribe button and then hit the little bell so that you get notified when I upload new videos. I appreciate that. You recall last week I used some of this free celebration paper to make this really fun easel card. And because she shared and her name was chosen, Sandy Miller's going to get this card. I'm going to send it out to her. So congratulations, Sandy. Thank you so much for sharing. I really, really do appreciate that. And I'll get this card out to you. But I'm going to need you to send me your address. So if you see this, send it. Otherwise, I'll send you a message through Facebook and ask you to send the address. So I think we're going to go ahead and just get started. I'm going to switch the view down to my hand, and we're going to get started on our card tonight. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be using the Artfully Layered Bundle. It has this great stamp set and these really beautiful dies. I love these dies. I actually have participated in a couple of swaps, and I used this die set and stamp set to make some cards. I can't show them to you though until everyone receives their cards. So maybe by next week I'm hoping that I can show you some of the other cards that I made. Okay, so we're going to work on a birthday card. And you can see I've used the large stamp here. I've used the happiest birthday wishes. I used these words, this text that is kind of broken. I used this border die and this die here for the flower, or for the leaf. And some fun new embellishments too from the catalog. So let's get started. Set this aside. We'll be getting to that there in just a second. We have our card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5 and folded in half. This color is Sahara Sand. This is not a color I use very often. And I realized it because I pulled it out of a package and it was the old style Stampin' Up packaging. So that's why I know I don't use it very often. But I don't know. For some reason it just kind of spoke to me for this card. So that's what I did. So the first ink color I'm taking is one of our in colors. It's Evening Evergreen. We're going to use that to stamp the large fern image. Let me put the card back here. I didn't mean to pull it out of the view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up real well. And I'm just going to stamp. I'm going to get that as far up in that corner as I can, which I love. And it's okay that it's not even. That's the best thing about some of these nature stamps. And this one is going in this other corner. And I know it looks kind of messy in the middle, but you know what? That'll be covered up so it won't be an issue. Okay, I find a place to put my dirty ink or dirty stamps so that I don't get ink all over everything. So I think what we will do too is go ahead and stamp the words. You know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to attach them, do some other things, and then we'll come back to that. So now I have a piece of pale papaya, and this is 1.5 by 4.25. Okay. Let me get my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we're going to die cut that zigzag border using one of the dies that I showed you. Okay, so we're going to pull it off of here, and I don't know if you can tell on, whoops, let me get in the camera. I don't know if you can tell from the die. You should be able to. One side's a zigzag, the other one gives you a nice kind of stitched edge. We're going to be using that zigzagged edge, okay? And these, I think most of these stamps, this is probably the, or dies, the whitest one. These all work well. There are some dies that Stampin' Up! Makes that are too big for this machine, but all of these would fit just perfectly on this great little machine. I like the little one. So I'm going to put my piece of cardstock down, and I am going to lay my die on so that we're cutting a zigzag edge. Now sometimes a die like this wants to move around a little bit, so I'm going to use a piece of washi tape. You could also use a piece of like the blue painter's tape. You just want something that's not going to stick. You know, it's not going to tear the paper when you pull it off. So don't put it on real tight. But you know what? I do that. Just makes it so easy. On the big machine, I don't think I would need to do it, but for the little one, I'm going to. Okay, so we're going to run this through. Pull that over there. Pull that right over there. I'm going to pull it. I don't want to tear it. Beautiful. Set that off to the side. And you know, while we have this out, I'm going to go ahead and die cut out our big leaf. So I've got a piece of pale papaya, or no, this is not pale papaya, this is soft succulent. And it is about 3 by 3. It's a little bigger than we need, but you'll see why here in a minute. Oh, let me get my die. Pop that right down here on the corner, because I'm going to use some of the extra for assembling this, and I'll show you. Okay. Set the machine off to the side and out of my way here. And now you're going to want to save all these pieces, okay? The insides and the outside, and I'll show you why. Let me get my pick tool to pop that out. These little holes on this die is to release your die cut from the die. So there we go. Okay. So while this is out, I guess we will work with this. I told you not to get rid of any of your pieces. Let me get a piece of scrap paper. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to take the inside pieces so that you can see here. I'll put this right here. And I'm going to get I'm going to take my Evening Evergreen again. And I'm going to get one of my blending brushes. Hold on. Let's set that out of the way there. And we're going to use it to do some shading on this edge here. Okay, so I like to hold the blending brush like this. I put my finger on the back of it, hold it like this, pick up some ink off my ink pad, start off your project, and then kind of work onto it. And I'm trying to just kind of add some color to the edge of these leaves, okay? Remember, you can always add more. You're better off to start and go, with a little bit and then add more. And sometimes you can't tell what you did until you can compare it to the other piece. But you see the difference there? That shading. So I'm gonna leave that just like that is. I'm gonna stop where I'm at, and I'm gonna do that with the other one. So have you had a chance to look at the mini catalog? What is your favorite thing in the catalog? Do you have a favorite yet? Something that you need to purchase? Perfect. I'm going to stop right there. And these blending brushes are super easy to clean. This one is just for my greens. And see, cleaning it is as simple as this, just kind of rubbing any extra ink out of it. Then I store them all in a tall container, like this, and then it's covered so they don't get dusty. So, let me see here. Yep, that's pretty clean. Good. Okay, so that's done. Oh, one more thing to do with that. We're going to stamp the sentiment or the greeting on here, as long as we've got the evening evergreen out. Then we will be done. Again, I chose happiest birthday wishes. There's a thank you, sending all the hugs, and hey there. So I'm gonna put this on here. Good. I just got my finger in the ink. Just wouldn't you know. What I do when I've got it under my nails too. I tend to use a little bit of hand sanitizer just to make sure. Come on. Whoops, now I got a lot. Make sure there's not get any extra residue, extra ink off, so I don't transfer it and put it someplace on my project. Because there's nothing I hate worse than working hard on a project and then getting an ink smear someplace where you didn't want it. That alcohol-based hand sanitizer too is also a great way to get Tombow glue off of your hands. Okay, let me use this piece of scrap paper to show you how we're going to assemble this. Okay, we are going to remember I told you to take this piece, but don't get rid of it. You can cut a little strip off of here. Like this. We're going to use this to attach this back in. Oh, where's my adhesive? And I'm going to just do that just like that. Okay. There we go. Whoops, it's kind of showing over the top. I'm going to have to trim that off. Yeah, you don't want it to show off the top like that. Okay. Now we're going to attach the second one in. And it's a great way to use it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other ways to use it too. But it was just an easy, simple, something that's at hand to use it. I think what I'll do this time is I'll pick this up. Okay, it's a little long, but I'm going to have to trim it off. I'm going to put it like right there. See? And so now the adhesive shows through the die. Put that right on there, and there we go. And then I'm going to trim that off. Yeah, so that's the one thing. Make sure your little piece is not too long for that. Oops. Come on. There we go. I almost cut part of my leaf off. Oh well, and there you go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some, where are my dimensionals? Oh, here they are, on the back. Put some, one here. Really doesn't matter where. I just like to put 2 or 3. Okay, now we're done with that. Put that out of the way. Now we're going to attach our sentiment to the front. Looks like I'm just a little long here, so once I attach it, I'm going to trim it off, and that's okay. But I just find that it's easier to trim it off of the edge versus the folded piece. And what you're going to do is just put this over where your 2 fern, you know, your 2 leaf stems kind of overlap, and you've covered that up. And then I just trim this up. Sometimes I'm better at than others at getting those pieces the exact same length. Perfect. There we go. Okay, see, this is really a simple card, but I like being able to use the blending brushes to give this leaf some shading, a little bit of interest. I'm gonna put that right there. Oh, and I want to put those little words on there. This is with crumb cake. I'm gonna put this here. If you joined late, welcome. Don't forget to share my video and comment shared, and maybe I'll be sending you this card next week. Okay. And then the last thing we're going to do is add some embellishments. In the new catalog, we have these really cute embellishments. Let me get this over. It's called Faux sea glass shapes. I don't know exactly what colors these are. I suppose I could open the catalog, but one's clear. I'm gonna leave it on the card. One's a yellowish and one's a green. I'll have to look that up. And I just scattered a few of those on there, and I just think they look so nice. Let me zoom in just a little bit there for you to see that. Yeah, you can see those. And they're all different shapes, which I think is fun. I think this time I'm gonna use some of these yellowish color ones here. And we're gonna put those on there. Just to kind of mix this up. And each column has a different shape, so you know, I don't want them all the same shape on my card. It doesn't show up so great there. I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna put this one right up here. So, and there we are. I used the yellow ones rather than the green ones that were used on this card, and I think they both look really, really good. So I hope you like this really simple, easy birthday card, or really the greeting could be anything you wanted on it. And I liked using the blending brush to give the die cut a little bit of depth. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Stamping with Denise. Bye now.